We're good on SD cards, all that? Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for let me take a break. I had to pause that episode because this is just too good.
Dude, then you left me hanging, and I'm like sitting here. What the hell happened with the guy?
It's literally 2 minutes ago, bro.
Yeah.
Our shirts haven't changed.
2 minutes too long.
All right, so I'm there, right? Let me give a quick recap. This guy hired me to make a pharma product. Yeah. I came up with this genius idea of doing 2 black bottles that had this edge, that were real pharma looking, and then like a saran wrap thing around it that kind of had the flame thing that he really wanted. And so,
which was a really smart way to give the pharma look with like a hardcore edge to it, which was stupid anyway, but you did it.
I think it would have worked. The honest to God truth, right?
Okay.
But this is early on in my career.
Well,
I didn't.
Dude, I've seen your work. Trust me. I believe you.
This is at a point in my career where I didn't do like guarantees or any of that. And thank God, because this guy would have like totally took advantage of me in court. So the judge sees the bottle and the packaging, and the judge asks the client, "Can you show one piece of communication where Ankur said to go ahead and order the product?" The guy is sitting there flipping through his documents that he brought, right? Couldn't find a single thing to show the judge.
Okay.
The judge goes and looks at me and goes, did you ever tell him to order the product this way? I'm like, Your Honor, no. I did suggest that this is a route he could take to accomplish his goals, and I don't even know who his manufacturer is. I don't know what he's paying for the product, so I couldn't possibly be involved in making that decision. And here's the line from my agreement that says that I'm not liable for any decisions that he makes. And the judge is like, "Oh, so did he sign this agreement?" I'm like, "No, he didn't sign the agreement. I made the mistake of taking on the project because, you know, I'm a young kid and first time doing this." Judge's like, "All right, well, because he didn't sign the agreement, you should be liable." I'm like, Your Honor, can you just turn to page 10? This is the design I made. And the judge is just like, "This isn't what I just saw as the product." I'm like, "You're correct."
Oh my God.
Judge is looking at the guy, be like, did this man design these labels for this product? And he's like, "Yeah, except, you know, I made some tweaks. I asked for the art files and he gave them to me, and then, you know, I changed it to this."
Okay.
The judge is like, "Yeah, this is dismissed." Literally takes a sheet of paper and chucks it in the. I wish I could have had like a video camera in the court, right? Listen, man.
Tossed it in the air.
Weight in my chest drops to the ground. And
how old were you?
I must have been 19.
Oh my God, you were a kid.
Yeah. And so I was like, thank God. I grabbed my bag, just got out of there. I was like, I never want to see this guy again or anything, right? 6 months later, calls me again.
There's more?
Yeah.
He had the gall to call you back?
He's like, "Hey, I'm going to send you an invoice for the manufacturer. I need you to take care of it." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? I don't even know who this is," right? And so then I realized, oh, this is the guy that I blocked. He called me from a different number and he's reaching out to me. I'm like, "Listen, if you contact me again, I will put in a restraining order. Never call me again."
Yeah.
This guy starts messaging me on every single app that was out at this time, right? Like, I'm talking Facebook, Friendster, MySpace, like everything.
MySpace.
Right? And I'm like, yo, what the hell
was he friends with Tom?
I mean, everyone was friends with Tom. I don't think that was a good judge of character.
I think even Tom unfriended that guy.
Yo, but the whole situation was so bad, all because I took the what's the word when I took the initiative to try and help this guy out with the problem that he had as a designer. Yeah. I've since learned there's just no way to make people like that happy unless they sign the agreement, right? Unless you outline every single thing that you're going to do for them. And yeah, man, I lost a lot of people that I pitched to after that because they wouldn't sign the agreement or they didn't agree to all the different clauses. But I learned I had to protect myself.
Yeah,
otherwise things were going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You got any stories like that?
Nothing like that, man.
Never been taken to court?
No. Well, you know, man, I always give people an out. If they want out, they get out, and we just walk away. You know, but it's holy cow. I don't think that guy had a screw loose. That's for sure.
Oh, dude, terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he's chasing you down for something that you had no way of. I mean, You're his hired designer. How were you possibly going to make a $20,000 decision for him?
Yeah, I don't think it was actually 20,000. I think it was closer to like 5,000 because there's small claims, right? So we didn't hit the
Oh,
cap.
okay.
I
well, still, you were
it's
19.
still crazy.
$5,000 for a
Right.
19-year-old
It's
kid.
still
That's a
crazy.
lot of money.
Now, another great client from Hell's Story that I have was there was a bunch of like nightclub promoters I worked with when I started designing.
Okay.
I was like a DJ and like I designed flyers for
Oh, yeah.
parties and so on and so forth.
I used to do it for bands.
And so, man, every time you talk about being in a band, all I can think about is your long hair from when you used to be a rock star singer.
Back when I was cool.
People don't know this. Mike is a very talented screamer into a mic and like goth rock almost.
It was more metal.
I feel like you're like the male version of Evanescence.
The male version of Evanescence.
I'm just messing with
God.
you. Man. No, man. No, I think I've heard you sing a few times. You're actually pretty good.
Thanks, man.
It's like T-Pain when you realize that he doesn't need autotune and you're just like shocked that he can actually sing.
Right.
I think he was on one of those shows, right, where you like dress up as something and like the
Oh,
masked
with
singer.
they have the big mask
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
The masked
yeah.
singer, I think it's called. Yeah, that's cool.
So I have another crazy story that I need to get off my chest.
Yeah, let me
All
hear
right.
it.
So
Dude, that last one took me on a ride.
this flyer customer, he pre-buys 10 flyers from me. I'm like, okay, cool. It's one of these Chicago promoters.
Okay.
And I'm stoked, right? Because I sold him 10 flyers for $50 a flyer.
Oh,
right.
nice.
And I was charging $125 at that time, but it was like a bulk buy. And
So
the
you
way
gave him a break.
the way he told me what this was going to be is that it's a weekly residency at a specific spot. I just need you to change a couple things each flyer, every week, right? So I have 10 different versions of this. It's different DJs, different person's birthday, whatever. This gets so good. All right, so let's say it's like September 1 that I'm getting this, right?
Okay.
And it's every other week for the next 10 weeks to
Okay.
take you through the end of the year. And,
Gotcha.
and the last flyer was like the New Year's Eve flyer.
Okay.
Okay. September 1, I'm 21 at this time. And
Okay.
I finish all the flyers by like September 10. He orders.
For the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, he gives me all the information.
Oh, then
right?
yeah, you're good.
He orders all the flyers. The club kicks him out after the first event because the address was wrong. And in Chicago, the clubs are all like on one block. So everyone went to a different club.
Oh, man.
So this dude takes me to court in Illinois.
Hold on. So at the time, you still lived in New York?
At the time, I was in D.C.
Oh, you were in D.C.
Yeah.
So you had to fly to...
Oh, no.
Illinois.
I handled it remote
Oh, okay.
in the whole setting.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
In Chicago, they set up like an arbitration person.
Okay.
Because again, this is small claims.
Okay.
And I told them I couldn't afford to fly to Illinois, and they just let me handle it however it went down back then. So takes me to court for the cost of the flyers and the graphics and legal fees for having to go through all this.
Okay.
The arbitration guy was just like, there's no legal fees. Like, what are you charging this guy for? So we're just going to strike that from what it is.
Okay.
And so the arbitration guy's like, listen, we need you guys to settle this. Why don't you pay him half for what the cost was for all of this? And I'm like talking to this arbitration guy. I'm like, there's just no way that I should be on the hook for any of this because here's the email where he told me what to put on the flyer.
Yeah.
Here's the email where he approved everything.
Okay.
Here's the email where he paid me 100 days later for everything, right?
Oh, my God.
He sued me in like February for whatever happened, for whatever reason, right?
Wow.
And he didn't pay me until like November for all of this work that I did.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I just thought, okay, cool. He's going to throw some parties, make the money, and then he'll pay me, right? Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So he then shows all these emails to the arbitration person. This is John. I never approved this person to throw a party. Remove me from the flyer. There's some guy's birthday, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, what does that have to do with me? It's like, well, you put John in the flyer. That's on you. I'm like, no, man. Again, here's an email where you gave me all the information of whose names and what to put on the flyer. It's not on me to determine, what any of this is, right? It's like if you hire an artist to paint a picture of Michael Jordan and the person makes Michael Jordan because that's what you asked for, You can't sue him for the likeness of Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
It's a one-off piece of art that I make for whatever the scenario is. The arbitration guy's like, yep, we're going to have to go to court.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, well, I can't afford to fly to Illinois, so I'm going to send someone as a proxy who at that time I had a fraternity brother who went and handled the whole situation for me. I gave him,
nice.
like, power of attorney and all that. And he goes and meets with the judge, and the judge is just like, why are we even in court for this? And he told me he was in there for 5 minutes, tossed it right out.
Really?
Yeah, this is a waste of time.
Oh my God! Well, that was sweet. At least that went over well.
Dude, it made no sense to me.
But these people, like, I don't understand. Like, they live in a tree. Sorry, trees.
Last great story for you.
Oh, you got more.
Oh, I could do this for 7 episodes if we wanted to. All right, so this doctor hits me up, and he's like, hey, listen, I need you to design this thing for my wife and I for our anniversary.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, no problem, man. $200. I'll take care of this thing. I'll even get it printed from Vistaprint. Everything will be good, right?
Full service.
Design it, get it ordered, printed. He shows it to the wife. Everyone's like in love with what this is. A week later, I get a call from the wife. I didn't approve this charge on my credit card. I'm going to dispute this with the credit card company. And the credit card company's on the phone too, asking me, hey, did you deliver this? And like, do you have any proof that they approved this? And so on and so forth. I'm like, yeah, Dr. So-and-so approved, this purchase, and I can have, I can forward you email communication, whatever it is. Yeah, well, Dr. So-and-so isn't on this credit card. And so we're going to approve this charge back.
Oh my God.
I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I designed the thing. He sent me pictures of you two together, like next to this thing, this like poster that I made, right? And I thought this was like all done, a done deal. But I was like, I don't even know who you are. Charge back.
What?
Credit card company took the money out of my account, and I tried to file an appeal, and I lost the appeal because I couldn't prove that I ever spoke to the wife outside of that chargeback call.
Oh my God.
Crazy, right?
That's really disappointing.
And these people, they just take advantage of small business owners and like freelancers all the time, man.
Ah, man, people are such.
You think
there's so many words I have that I'm trying to keep this PG. I can't understand where people get off doing stuff like this. I mean, like, dude,
you ever deal with chargebacks?
I'm not some. Yeah, once or twice.
I've had PayPal accounts shut down on me.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, you've had 3 chargebacks.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had a PayPal
listen,
account
man,
do that to me.
I delivered it. It was a digital service. They're like, where's the tracking? I'm like, it was a digital thing. Like, there's no tracking. I didn't ship them anything.
Yeah, it's not a physical object. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had customers, like, I've worked on things for months and months, and I'm going back. I mean, but like, I had a guy one time actually, after he approved every single thing, like step by step by step, and this is when you're like a young designer, you have to learn to just hold on to all your documentation and cover your rear end, because these people will they will at the end of the day be like, okay, I got everything I need, and then they'll say, I didn't want any of this stuff. I'm not paying you, or I'm going to charge you back, or I'm going to take the money. They'll charge back their PayPal account. That's what happened to me.
It's the worst.
So, and then this was like a big deal, and I was a kid, so like it was the first time I got like a payout like this.
Yeah.
So, you're young and green, and you're like, wow, man, this is like my first, like, I mean, dude, I was doing stuff for like $100 here, $150. So I'm like, this payout was like $3,000 almost.
I could now buy 48 beers.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're measuring it in beers. So it was like product photography and like 12 label designs and good Lord, it was a whole product catalog and
for a couple $100.
No. This was the one that was.
Oh, this was like a big one.
This was the first,
and they charged back.
Oh yeah,
the whole thing. Why? What were they not happy with?
They just said that they didn't approve any of this stuff.
Did they ever?
Yeah, but it was PayPal, dude.
Man,
This was like in 2000 and 6.
That whole situation was so
So it was
notorious.
just one button gone.
It's terrible, man.
Yeah, and so, fortunately, I had spent some of that money, so he didn't get it all back, but my PayPal account got shut down, and I was like, you're never getting that money. I don't care.
They never sent you to collections?
I don't care if they did.
Dude, PayPal sent me to collections.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time that account was negative or for whatever charge.
Oh, yeah, I was
accident.
totally in collections. I was 21. I was like, yeah, delete.
Man, who was president then? Reagan?
It was, I think it was Jimmy Matarazzo. I don't know. Somebody.
All right, real quick, on a brighter note.
Yeah.
What is a scenario where a client took care of us properly? Do you have any good client stories?
I mean, I have lots of those too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just did one a couple weeks ago where I had a client that just was doing a protein powder in a 72-ounce container, and it was just simple, A to B type stuff.
In and out, trusted you.
Yeah, right. And you know what I mean? Like, you have a conversation on the phone. You explain what you know. They listen to you. They're excited at the end of the phone call, and then you give them a proof for a design. Like, here's a design idea I had. This stuff, and they're like, oh, this is great. All right. Do you have any changes for me? They're like, I mean, like, we might have some changes with, when we get the proper information from our manufacturer, but no, this is wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm like, what the heck world am I living in? So, I mean, dude, like nothing, literally nothing. I provided them 3D renders and Amazon images and some things, just some stuff. And it was just, thanks so much. Here's money. I was like, oh my God, where's my calendar? I can write this down. You know what I mean? Like,
I got to add this person to my
it was
Christmas gift
fantastic.
cards.
Anytime they call, be like, hi. You know what I mean? Like, it's great to hear from you. But, and there's been plenty of those over the years. Lots of great customers. And a lot of times, you hate to see, because you see they're excited and their brand grows, and then it dies off and they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, I wish that would have done well. It's been really nice to keep that customer around. But
Do you think the customers or the clients that are good don't last? And it's always the jerks that actually do last?
Well, it's not necessarily that either. So, no, because the jerks go too. I've had plenty of those that I'm like, bye. But like, I think that the best customers know how to build their company. And then you're not necessarily working with that person anymore.
Yeah.
But they have a group of people because now their company is growing. And that's a great problem for them to have.
Oh, my God. How much do you love it when all of a sudden you've been talking to John the entire time?
Yeah.
But now you have to talk to Carol, their quality control person that they just hired.
Well, you should
and
call
Carol's
her.
like, I think the IDP panel is wrong. And I think you need to make this adjustment. And like, Carol, I'm CFR 101 certified. And there's no actual certification, but Ankur designed me a logo that says CFR 101 certified.
Yeah, I can provide you a logo that says I am. But
I just think that clients that come educated as to what they're actually getting.
Yeah.
And this if it's not their first time working with the designer.
Right.
And that's another one of those questions I like to ask. Is this your first time working with the designer? Oh, let me hold your hand.
Good question.
And explain this whole process to you. This is what's going to happen on day one. This is what's going to happen at this milestone, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And more times than not, I won't even take it if it's the first time. I do the whole Eddie Murphy thing, right? Have you heard this story? It's like he was walking. He was walking into a club, and he had all his boys with him. And this is back when like the color thing was still like an issue for club owners, right?
Yeah.
They're like, Eddie, you can come in, but the rest of your friends can't. Right. And so, wait, the wrong story. There was some girl in line that ran up to him and was like, oh my God, Eddie Murphy, I've never kissed, an African-American. Can I please kiss you? Eddie looks at her. He's like, you can't start at the top as your first kiss. You got to kiss one of my broke ass friends first. Anyway, so he sends one of his boys into the club. He goes into the club, gets everyone in the club out. It's a party at Eddie Murphy's house, and he takes the whole club home. And he thought it was a party at his house.
Good
Eddie Murphy was
that's
the man.
fantastic.
But it's the same thing with graphic designers, right? Like, you can't just start at the top as a favor and me be the first time that you work with someone. Go work with some Fiverr guys first, right? And then come back to me.
Yeah, you'll be so happy to take it. Yeah, you'll be like, hi.
But in all sincerity, clients, we love you.
We do.
They're just some bad apples, and that's in any scenario, right?
Listen, there are so many great. Even the people that don't know what they're doing, I think a lot of it is on us too, because I think younger designers, when you're like what we're talking about, they have to learn how to set expectations. You know, so now like when I talk to customers, even when they don't know what they're doing, it's like a story. You're telling them a story. You're just walking them through the process. You know, take them on a little ride, and then they're so happy at the end.
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. That's the end of this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.